Hello everyone, and welcome to Vandal Wings, the not-so-original show with hot wings and even hotter questions. I'm Zach Kellogg, joined today by Idaho head football coach Jason Eck. Thanks for joining us, Coach.
Good to be with you here today, man. I love wings. I don't know if I like them this hot, but I love wings, and excited to be with you visiting today.
Coach Eck is entering his second season at the helm. You guys finished 7-5 last year, coming into what should be an exciting season. Before we get started with this, though, how do you feel like you handle your spicy foods?
I do all right. You know, I'd say I'm a 6 on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being excellent. So I got to elevate my game today, just like our players. In big moments, you got to rise to the occasion.
Starting off, we got Fun Guy Ketchup. This is the not hot sauce, the first one from this line, courtesy of Irish Spikes here in Moscow. So why don't we just start this off and ask our first question.
Not bad at all.
So I know last season didn't end the way you guys wanted to, despite being somewhat of a success. What did you take away from that? And what can fans expect to change or improve going into next year?
I thought it was a great start. You know, getting to the playoffs. You know, winning 4 games at home, going 4-1 in the Dome. I thought was a good start. Finishing 6-2 in conference. You know, making a big improvement that way. So I think it was a promising start, but now we got to build on it. Now we got to finish some more of those games against the best teams in the league, the Sac State type teams, to win the championship. But I think we had a great first start, and I think you're going to see a lot of improvement this year. And
yeah, fans certainly excited for it. A lot of good games last season, so even better ones next year. Starting off on the road against Nevada in Reno.
Yeah, well, we got to take care of Lamar first. We go to Lamar first for the first game down in Texas, and then we kind of build up. Then we go to the Mountain West team, Nevada, for our second away game, and then third is Cal Berkeley, and then we get into our conference play, which we'll be excited for.
All right, let's move right on to the second wing. This one's called Black and Gold. Mild mustard, really made for, dogs while on the tailgate. Also, Irish Spike's favorite colors, black and gold.
Still not too bad.
Pretty good. This is the first time for both of us. Pretty good start.
My compliments to Spike. Very good sauce.
So your dad, Jay Eck, coached collegiate for about 40 years. And then your sister, Maggie, played at Eastern Illinois. At the Eck, for an Eck pickup game, you guys are all in your prime. Who do you got?
They were basketball. I like to tell people I made the switch to a football because my body was more of a pulling guard than a shooting guard. So I made the transition over. But I think Maggie might still have the best jumper in the family. My sister Megan, she I think still plays a little bit, and she can shoot it pretty good. My brother Brian played in high school and then was a manager in college at DePaul University, so he's got a pretty good jump shot too. But I'd probably say Megan would have the best one.
Seeing you out on the court there for noon balls, you don't discourage yourself. You got a good jumper, big presence inside,
Not bad. I like to play a little noon hopes. My body's, I'm getting a little old for it, but I think I made 1 appearance this year, or 2 appearances this year, so we'll get in better shape for next offseason.
All right, now moving right along. This one's called Unicorn Blood. This one is the perfect balance between sweet and smoky.
I like how we're warming up. This is kind of like a non-conference schedule. We're kind of easing into it. It's going to get a little tougher as time goes on, but I like it. That's another good one.
That was a really good one. And you've coached and played with a lot of guys who've gone to the pro level. We got Ron Dane, Mark Tauscher, Casey Raybach, Dallas Goddard, Jamar Fletcher. Do you feel like you have a good eye for, that pro talent? And also, what separates a college player from an NFL player?
Yeah, and I think even some of the guys who were even more impressive were the guys who were from a little smaller levels who made it. I had a guy, Chris Reed, who just finished his 8th year in the NFL, who I coached in Division II at Minnesota State Mankato. And then a guy like Dallas Goddard, who was a walkout at South Dakota State and ended up being a second-round draft pick. So I think a lot of times the guys who are the best players, they have a great internal drive and discipline. They were able to push themselves probably harder than coaches do, and really drive themselves and hold themselves to a higher standard than others. So I think that just kind of tremendous dedication and ultimate drive to be the best and to get better on a daily basis kind of defines a lot of those guys who end up being pros.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt. And okay, these are starting to hit a little bit. I'm gonna be honest with you. That last one's starting to stick around a little longer. I'll be honest, all right?
Now you're in trouble if it's only the third game.
No, I know.
We got a lot of work to do.
No, we're still going on. This next one's sweet lava, sweet roasted red peppers, coconut, tomatoes, lemon, and a pop of cayenne. Goes with everything is what he says. And hop right into the next question. Looking back at your time, high school at St. Pius, do you remember what your high school quote was, or your senior quote was?
I didn't until you told me the other day. I had forgotten it, but
that actually wasn't your senior quote.
It wasn't my senior quote.
That was your junior quote.
That was my junior quote. What was my senior quote? I don't remember what it was.
Losers let it happen. Winners make it happen.
Still a pretty good quote. I might tell it to the team tomorrow and act like it's original.
So what made you kind of pick that, and how do you feel like that has applied to you after high school?
Well, I think a life is a lot of what you make out of it and how you respond. There's a lot of stuff that happens in life that you can't control. Just like in a football game or on a football team, you have stuff that you can't control. But really what defines you is how you respond to things. And I do think that winners have a way of finding a way to get things to work and making things happen. So had a lot of good years there at St. Pius X. We had a good turnaround there. I think the year before I got into high school, they were 0-10, and I didn't realize that. We just moved to Atlanta at that time, and the first day of practice, the coach kept talking how we're going to turn this thing around. So I asked one of the other guys, like, "Hey, what was our record last year?" They were like, 0-10, and I didn't realize that. But I think we got to 7-3 my senior year and had a good year. So
yes, on varsity, seen some old pictures of you. I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. We're getting there, and actually leads us into our next thing. We're going to do a little thing called Explain That Gram. We're going to take a look at some old photos. Took a deep dive into your social media, into Jason X's past, and we want you to give some context to some of these photos.
Great.
And before we hop into that, Drunken Red habanero here for wing number 5, right there at the halfway point.
I like it.
How do you feel like you're hanging up, Coach?
Doing great. Better than I expected.
Another good one.
Mm-hmm. Irish Spike knows what he's doing. These are excellent.
Yeah, Irish Spike in Moscow. Ooh, that one's got a little bit more kick at the end of it. Really good. So right here, we were told you were quite the dancer in your college days, and right here was the Rose Bowl season. What was happening here, and what was your favorite move to bust out after a win?
I think this was post game after we beat Penn State my senior year, and we clinched a Rose Bowl berth. I think Ohio State upset Michigan. We had lost to Michigan, but Ohio State upset Michigan. We beat Penn State, which earned us the Rose Bowl berth. So I think this was the celebration afterwards. So I kind of go with it. I'm not big into those name moves. It's kind of, you got to have creativity. Just like coming up with plays in football, you got to have a little creativity. Just let it flow.
So I remember you busting out a move or two after the Eastern Washington win last year. So you still got it. I saw you doing it. More moves this year to come, probably, huh? This one under center. Do you remember what game this might be? Who the quarterback was? Because being an offensive lineman, you and the quarterback, especially when you play center, you guys kind of go hand in hand.
The quarterback is Peter Lee. He ended up actually transferring to an FCS school. He transferred to Yale and finished his career at Yale. I imagine we're playing somebody, not great, like UNLV or Ohio U or something. Those are some of the games I get to play. And I didn't play a lot when we were playing Ohio State, Michigan as a backup center. But I want to say that was probably Ohio U or UNLV my senior year.
All right. Let's roll on to the next one then. So this one at the Derby. Where was this? Because the caption just says Derby.
That was at the Kentucky Derby, May 4th, 2014. So about 9 years ago. My wife and I like horse racing a lot. I don't know if my wife likes horse racing as much as she likes dressing up and wearing, dresses and hats. But it kind of shares both of our passions going there. So we have a lot of fun, and we got to get back there. I think maybe next year we're going to try to go in 2024. I think is the 150th anniversary of the Kentucky Derby, so that'd be a good year to go. Good event. I'd put it on your bucket list, Zach, if you haven't been.
Oh, 100%. I mean, Coach Jason Eck, got to get there. Heard it from the man himself. And I think we got one more photo here. So right here on the sideline, this was your junior year at St. Pius X.
It's a long time ago, man. That was probably fall of 93.
Yeah.
1993. Dan McGuire there is sitting next to me on the offensive line. I think I was playing left guard and he was the center. So good memories at St. Pius and good memories down in Atlanta.
And we got one more to roll on to right here. This was your freshman year photo. I guess kind of how does it feel to look back on something that maybe I haven't looked on in a little while?
That's a long time ago, man. Going back to that was probably 91 or 92. So I think you're as you get older now. Now I'm 45. You think back. It's tough to remember some of those days, but I think who you are is kind of a combination of all you've experienced and all you've been through. So obviously all the days are a part of making me who I am today. So good memories looking back.
We're gonna flip the plate around, and now we're on to wing number 6. This is Angry Zen. This was made in collaboration with a chef over in Pullman at O Ramen. This one made really to go with ramen and real nice spice to go with that.
Miso.
And right here, so we also heard from a former teammate that while you were at Wisconsin, you guys were assigned into lifting groups, and it was based on strength and lifting, but you were with the kickers and the backup quarterbacks. How did that happen? And did you ever graduate from that, or were you with there your whole time?
I improved as time went on, but I would say that I was not one of the stronger guys in the O-line. I probably know what teammate gave you that information, but I made progress, and it gave me it was good competition for me to outlift those kickers and backup quarterbacks.
Because I know a couple of your kickers, pound for pound, they're probably one of the stronger guys in the way. I know we got some strong guys, but I think pound for pound, they might give some guys a run for their money.
No, Coach Heim the other day I was asking who are the weakest guys in the team because I was hoping that I could still outlift them at my old age. So I don't know, it might be pretty close.
Number 7, all right, Coach, we're starting to escalate a little bit. The last one had a little bit more kick to it. Then I think we're starting to kind of reach the end game here right now. As next one is called Pirates Vacation. This is pineapple, mango, and banana jerk. This one with Trinidad Scorpion on it.
I feel like we're getting to the playoffs here. You know what I'm saying? The regular season is definitely over. This is playoff level competition.
No more non-conference schedule.
No.
We're starting to hit the big time.
Yeah.
All right, going back to your high school days again. You talked about it earlier. You played with some really talented guys, one of which being Philip Rogers. Your senior year broke the single season rushing record. And you said, like the song goes, I want to be like Phil. What made Phil such a special player and being a part of a program that had one of its best seasons since the 1960s?
Phil Rogers is a great player. He's done well now. I know he's got a son. I might be recruiting a son here coming up. But he was a great player. He was a strong, powerful back. He could run through tackles. I remember a few times in practice, like in the spring game, trying to tackle him and him running through one of my tackles. He went to Georgia Tech and played. His brother went to Georgia Tech as well. He was younger than us. His brother played in the NFL then and then tragically passed away. But a great athletic family, and Phil Rogers was a great player, great teammate of mine in high school.
Yeah, went to Georgia Tech, so yeah. I mean, St. Pius X put out some pretty good products back there. You guys really turned that program around.
That was probably my runner. If I hadn't gone to Wisconsin, I think I went to Georgia Tech. Those are probably my 2 final schools it came down to.
All right, now moving on to Wing A. Again, like you said, we're in the playoffs right now.
That one caught my attention.
This one's called Idiot Sauce. It's all 10 sauces put into one.
Really?
It was a happy accident, is what was said. Mixed it together, and it was mostly going to be a joke, but it ended up actually working out. So I guess let's dive in. We're starting to reach the end game now.
Not bad. It doesn't seem like an accident.
No,
Definitely have a little tingling in the lips and stuff.
For this next question, a little bit more of, open-ended. Who would you say is the most underrated player you either played with or have coached in your career?
Underrated player I played with and coached.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man.
If I had to look at, last year's team, I think a guy, Matthias Bertram, was an underrated guy from last year's team. Made a lot of plays, was versatile, could play high safety, could come down the box. So that kind of stands out to me. If I was going to talk about Wisconsin, Mark Tauscher was a guy who was for 4 years, he was a backup. First 4 years of college, did not start a game. came in behind 2 tackles who ended up being first-round draft picks in the NFL. And then he graduated, was going to move on, and then ended up coming back kind of on a whim when we had some problems when I was coaching. We got him to come back, ends up getting drafted by the 7th round in the Packers, and then goes on to play 10 years in the NFL, and he had a better NFL career than the 2 guys who went ahead of him. So that was kind of a great story of a guy being underrated.
All right.
They're kicking in now. This is serious.
No, yeah, it's starting to. Oh man, I'm gonna keep it real. It's
when your tongue is starting to like vibrate. That's a different deal.
yeah. Real quick, can I get some more water? Number 9. This one's pumpkin spice. He put it as trick or treat in reverse. Nice pumpkin start and then a little bit of kickback at the end. And
there was a band when I was in high school called Smashing Pumpkins. You ever heard of them?
yeah, of course.
Okay, I'm kind of old. I wasn't sure if you knew that.
I got good taste, so don't worry.
Billy
about
Corgan. That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
All right. This one has some Carolina Reaper in it. And our question number 9, back at Wisconsin, game against Michigan, you had a broken right hand, but you still ended up suiting up and you were going to snap with your left. What was the mindset that went into that of you pushing yourself to want to suit up for that game?
Well, see, friends forget these stories because they're so long and so old, but I did miss the Michigan game with the broken hand, but it was for the Rose Bowl. And for the Rose Bowl, they brought everybody to the Rose Bowl, but they had 2 trips. Like if you were on like the travel squad, healthy enough to play, you'd go early, you'd be in LA for a whole week. If you were going to be injured, you'd just come like the day before the game or something. And so I taught myself, I didn't want to miss a week in LA when you're in Wisconsin in the middle of the winter. So I taught myself to snap with the left hand, got to where I could warm up, be on the travel squad and practice. Didn't get to play in the Rose Bowl, but I was ready. Practice all week, was on duty, ready to go.
All right. And,
Had a good week in LA.
I mean, I bet better than, really nothing
Wisconsin
better.
in January is not beautiful.
I was going to say. And, being down in LA for the Rose Bowl, no less, had to be a great time.
It was.
All right, Coach.
Grand finale here.
We have reached the very end. This one, Irish Spikes Victory Sauce. This is an original sauce, not made before, made specifically for this.
Victory sauce.
Made with Carolina Reapers, 800 times hotter than a jalapeno.
800 times.
800 times hotter than a jalapeno. But it is tradition for the last wing, and also want to give a shout out to Paradise Grill for making these wings. They have been crisp, delicious.
Excellent.
And again, the sauce is really getting to me right now. We're in the FCS championship game, I think, walking in. It's tradition to put a little bit of extra on the last one, the last dab. Coach, are you going to join me on this one?
You can't break tradition.
All right.
Let's see how much of a dab you're putting on there.
Nice. I think a nice little healthy streak right there.
All right.
All right, Coach. And
Cheers.
cheers. Cheers. And
To victory.
so chicken wings, national staple at any tailgate, at any game. And your brother has some experience with this. Back in 2014 at Toons Bar and Grill, he won the 3rd annual hot wing contest. Eating 37 wings in 7 minutes. How do you feel like you stack up next to an elite athlete like that?
Mike Steven is an elite wing eater. I mean, he's one of the best, and he spent a lot of time at Toons over the years to really practice. That was many years that went into that, but I'm not quite at his level. I could be like the Robin to his Batman, but I can't compete with him on the whole level.
All right, and 37 in 7 minutes. That's quite the feat right there.
My brother Brian would probably be up there too. He's a great wing eater. He used to have a place in Chicago that he'd buy him by like the tray, and the tray was like 100 wings.
Dang, that's crazy. And I think we're about to wrap this thing up right now.
We made it.
But
I wasn't
Coach,
sure we would. I was sweating a little bit, but we made it.
I won't lie, I am too a little bit. That last one is my lips tingling a little bit, but
That's a taste of victory.
Taste of victory right there.
Of victory.
Well, thank you so much for joining us for Vandal Wings, Coach. And is there anything you want to say to the fans before we get out of here?
We just appreciate your support. Want to see you in the Kibbe Dome this year, man. It's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of wins, and a lot of good times in there. Bees up.
Bees up.
Hey, really appreciate Paradise Cafe Great wings, unbelievable, and Irish spikes. Oh, these sauces are unbelievable. Thanks so much. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the support of the Vandals. Bees up.
That's a wrap.
Great job. My tongue is burning.